Today's Browns Report is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They've got so many awesome benefits and coverage plans for the Dog Pound, but one of the greatest things of all, they've got coverage plans and plans starting at $15 a month. They're owned and operated by Ryan Reynolds, the actor who you might have heard of before. Yeah, he's helping you guys out with great deals. When you go to mintmobile.com/chatsports, we'll tell you more about their awesome benefits later on in the show. But today's show, we're looking at 5 players on the Browns roster with the most to prove at training camp, right? 5 guys that have to really make a name for themselves, and maybe put some fear and worry and doubt aside. First one up, you may have already guessed it. I'm going Anthony Schwartz. This is a player who hasn't played football this entire offseason, of course, yet it feels like his value has gone down in some way possible. As weird as that sounds, it kind of feels like Anthony Schwartz has a lot to prove going into this season after we fabricated sort of doubt throughout the offseason a little bit. I think the spotlight is on him, maybe more so than anyone else. I mean, especially when you draft David Bell. Okay, that's not really showing a ton of confidence in Schwartz, but you also didn't bring back Jarvis Landry, so that kind of negates it a little bit. But regardless, Anthony Schwartz, a third-round pick last year, taking 91st, 92nd overall, didn't have a phenomenal rookie season, had a great play in the Chiefs game, and he also did not run the full route in the Texans game, which led to the ultimate demise of Baker Mayfield. So if you love Baker, blame Anthony Schwartz. If you're happy Baker's gone, thank Anthony Schwartz. But last year, just that one touchdown in the Packers game, which we don't even need to talk about anymore. But here's my question for you guys. Do you guys think Anthony Schwartz will live up to the expectations? Is he going to be the third-round cheetah track star that we all bought into? At least I did, when he was drafted last year. Let me know. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. I've gone back and forth on Schwartz this entire offseason because, one, let's just be honest, that's how the offseason works. Us talking heads got to invent new takes every once in a while, and we talk ourselves in and out of things. But I'm not giving up on Anthony Schwartz. It's only been one season. He dealt with some soft tissue injuries last year, a concussion, never was really able to take the plane off the ground. It also didn't help. Baker sucked. Baker was injured, but he was a bad quarterback still, right? So that definitely did not help a rookie wide receiver who was kind of stuck in the mud to begin with, and all of a sudden, you're not picking up any traction on offense at all, right? So I think Anthony Schwartz definitely still has plenty of potential in him to be a football player and not just a track player in pads. I'm going to combine the next 2 names to watch here. I'm going Jordan Elliott and Sheldon Day. We're looking at the interior defensive line here because this has been kind of like the Brown nerds' big talking point the last couple months is what is Andrew Berry going to do with his interior defensive line after not making money moves this offseason? When you look at the depth chart here, you got 2 new starters compared to last season. Jordan Elliott, third-round pick out of Mizzou from 2020. He's slated to be a starter alongside Taven Bryant, who they signed in free agency from Jacksonville. 2018 first-round pick. But then you've got Sheldon Day, who's been a vet, Togiai, and Perion Wynn for your rookie. But I'm really looking at Jordan Elliott and Sheldon Day because Elliott is getting the nod to start here, and Day is fighting to keep his job. So they're very different spots right now. And when you compare their stats head-to-head, sure, it's not really fair when Sheldon Day has played longer than Jordan Elliott, but neither player has really gotten I wouldn't say a fair chance, but has not been given the ultimate green light of you are our starting defensive tackle for the whole season, right? For weeks to come. No, it's always maybe been in spurts and whatnot, spelling an injury here or there. So I'm excited to see what Jordan Elliott can do as he's looking like to be the starting defensive tackle alongside Taven Bryant. And if Sheldon Day can keep his job, right? A bit of a journeyman, joined the Browns back in 2020. Is he able to stay on the roster? Because he's definitely a bubble candidate. We've got more players to watch and get to in just a second, but Mint Mobile has some awesome benefits that I really wanted to share with all of you guys. Not only do they have unlimited talk and text, but high-speed data on the nation's largest 5G network or 4G, whatever's fastest wherever you are, plus a mobile hotspot, and probably best of all, plans starting at $15 a month. Inflation sucks right now. No one can say otherwise. Luckily, Mint Mobile is there to help your wallet while you're paying the price at the pump. When you go to mintmobile.com/chatsports, you'll be able to get in for one of the best cell phone providers out there, best cell phone coverage providers out there. It's really simple. You can keep your phone. You can keep your phone number. There's these new things called eSIMs. So you don't even have to go into the store and spend half your day standing in a weird AT&T Verizon store. No, thanks to Mint Mobile, they've got you covered. So make sure you get started over at mintmobile.com/chatsports. I really want to ask this question too, before we get to the rest of the names on the list. Name a roster bubble candidate for me. We talked about Sheldon Day as someone who definitely needs to have a good training camp to get a spot on this roster, because I'm guessing Andrew Berry's going to go 4 defensive tackles. If Sheldon Day makes the case, maybe he'll open up to 5, but Day's definitely got to have a good camp. All right, the next guy I'm watching for is Harrison Bryant. Now, he's not a bubble guy. I think he's pretty well cemented at that tight end 2 position, but is he a tight end 2? Or did he just kind of fall in the right place at the right time? Because you don't have Austin Hooper this year, and so all of a sudden everyone shifts up a little bit, but then Andrew Berry didn't address replacing Hooper. No, you know what I mean? He didn't go out and sign or draft a tight end. So Harrison Bryant right now is looking around going, I'm tight end 2 on this roster. I need to keep it that way. I don't want to not look like a tight end 2 and make Andrew Berry go, you know what? I made a mistake. I got to go sign someone in free agency. I'm not liking how this tight end room is shaping outside of Njoku. Now, Bryant in his 2 seasons so far with the Browns, 6 touchdowns, 45 receptions. He's had some great plays and moments, like the Ravens game last year, the 4 interception embarrassment that couldn't result in a win somehow. But Harrison Bryant, like I said, he's got to put any doubt to the side about where he stands on this depth chart. He needs to convince Andrew Berry, you made the right decision by focusing your efforts on other positions and allowing me to step up and be the second tight end and sort of replace Hooper / Njoku, who were tight end 1A and 1B last year. Now it's a little more clear-cut and defined with Njoku 1 and Bryant 2. My 5th and final player to watch is Jacob Phillips, the linebacker picked out of LSU, and unfortunately injuries have just not, benefited him or gotten in the way. Have gotten in the way of him having a good start to his career. Now we're going to look at some notes I've got on Phillips in just a second, but if you hate the Ravens, if you hate the Bengals, if you hate the Steelers, if you hate all the above, you're at a good channel right now. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe. You're going to fit in quite nicely here at the Browns Report. Getting back to Jacob Phillips, though, I'm hopeful that Phillips can show I am a future inside linebacker to be paired with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Right, you brought back Anthony Walker on a 1-year deal because he got hurt early on last year. Then he actually looked kind of sneaky good as the year progressed, maybe a little bit underappreciated, if I do say so. But I'm optimistic that Phillips this year can show, you know what, you got Walker back on a 1-year deal. I'm your guy after that. I'll split some reps as the season progresses. Because in his career, unfortunately, last year he got hurt in training camp, got hurt in his rookie year. So he's never really been able to take off, but 42 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a sack, a pass breakup, 4 pass breakups. He's putting together some good notes, and when we've seen him play during training camp and in limited time during the regular season, he's definitely showed why he was drafted in day 2 of the draft. But now it's time to really show convince Andrew Berry, that's right, I am your go-to future linebacker alongside JOK. Now, before we get to the end of the show, which if you don't know, we like to do here at the Browns Report is in honor of reaching 10,000 subscribers. We're doing 10 reasons why the Browns are AFC North champs. So, without further ado, we're on to reason number 6, and that is, I think the Browns wide receivers are sleepers. And this may be very hypocritical of me because I've definitely beaten the drum of let's look at Will Fuller. Let's look at improving the wide receiver room. But the more and more I kind of look at it right now, you have Amari Cooper. Now, if you want to just, suck off Madden, they have him as a 10th best receiver in the NFL. I don't think he's 10th best receiver in the NFL. But we'll use this in our narrative and twist it to our advantage. But DPJ, I'm all in on this guy. I think he's going to be someone where if you are a Browns fan, you will draft him late in your fantasy league because no one else has him on their radar, but you know he's going to get a lot of targets. Anthony Schwartz is wide receiver 3. It's really David Bell, but Bell will work out of the slot, but I just pencil in the veteran ahead of him for the time being. But Anthony Schwartz, hopefully he can make and take that next step and look like the third-round pick he was. And Bell, I'm super high on. I mean, this is one of the best and most consistent receivers in the Big Ten over the last 2 seasons. He's going to show out. Now, when you look at Amari Cooper, because this is the big-ticketed item, right? This is the $20 million guy on the roster right now who has always been good. There's no kind of spin zone or something I'm trying to force feed you here. Let the stats speak for themselves. Sure, a bit of a down year last year with Dallas. Still put together 8 touchdowns. If you have a down year, and it's, by the way, he had 8 touchdowns. Is that, like, how low can it really get for this player? So I'm all in on Amari Cooper this year. I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle of Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield trade saga. But Amari Cooper was one of the best pickups across the entire NFL this offseason. While we're talking about wide receivers, why don't we end the show with this question? Who is your all-time favorite Browns wide receiver? Let me know in the comments right now who your favorite wideout is.